This is a tutorial to show you how to make this beautiful scrappy silk vessel. It also uses some black tulle and some old threads. We'll start by cutting up our scraps and placing them on top of our water-soluble stabiliser such as Solvy or Violene. With the feed dogs down and using a darning foot, I cover the entire hoop with a scribble stitch. I've then taken it off the machine and decided to add some extra pieces of silk. So you also need to decide which is the top or the outer and which is going to be the inner piece. So I've added some silk pieces, just pin them down, and then I will scribble stitch them on as I'm doing here. And I've decided to use some pink thread as my top thread for this section. I've then also decided to add some extra pieces of silk and change the cotton thread over to something else. Now you can see the piece here, and so you can see these sort of red extra rayon pieces of cotton that I've added. I just knotted them off and tied and sewn them on. And if we pop it back over to the other side, which will be the inside of the bowl, you can see all of that sewing with just some silk. Now I'm cutting off the extra stabilizer. You don't need to throw it away, you can just keep that for other projects. And I might trim little bits of tulle as well. Yeah, just we don't need those little pieces. The next step will be to rinse the whole piece. Now with just one piece of stabilizer, you really only need to rinse this in warm water for maybe 10 seconds or so. You want it to be sticky, so you want your hands to come away and still be this sort of slightly sticky or tacky. We will scrunch it just to rinse the water out, and that's what I'm doing here. Then we will put it into a mold. I'm going to put it into a little plastic canister, but you could layer it over a polystyrene ball, or you could pretty much use anything else, just a porcelain bowl for example. I'm just popping it in and I'm making sure that I've got all of the threads at the top sort of pulled out over the side because I want to see them in my final piece. We'll probably let this dry in a warm place for about 24 hours. In the sun is fine, or in a warm spot. Then we will just gently ease it out of the mold, and here it is, your final piece, looking absolutely gorgeous. Subscribe and like to follow if you'd like to see more.